most trolled NBA player on Twitter. Of all the tweets sent to him, 28% had a negative tone, while Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid were second and third most getting the negative tweets. LeBron, he was the fourth most trolled. Chris Broussard, are you surprised that Steph Curry is the most trolled NBA player?
Chris Broussard's #1. Tell him how it feels, Chris.
I am surprised. I am stunned that Steph is trolled so much. Look, we've talked about it before, how some players, you know, they don't like the fact that Steph doesn't play defense or that he doesn't guard the opposing point guard all the time, things like that. But when I look at the fans, and I'm assuming those are the ones that have been trolling him, I'm baffled. I really am. I mean, his game, as you said, J-Mac, is fun to watch. It's exciting. He's a small player. So when you see a small player dominating a league and winning championships and so on and so forth, usually you like that. He hasn't been given anything. You know, he came in as a 7th pick of the draft. He went to Davidson. He was an all-star a year late rather than a year early. You know, he probably deserved it 1 year before he actually was an official all-star. You know, I don't understand what isn't to like. He's actually made the game more accessible for a lot of people who aren't incredibly athletic, but they can shoot and they can handle. And he's brought skill. He's one of the players that has kind of brought skills back to the forefront of the game. It's not just, can you jump through the roof and have blazing speed? So I keep talking to people, and some people are saying, well, he's too clean. He's squeaky clean. That's why people don't like him, because he's got the perfect family and his children. You see his kids all over the place. His wife is on television with her cooking show, and, you know, they say all these things he's doing are too clean. So I don't know. I like clean. So maybe that's why I like Steph. But for other people, I guess that's the reason, but I'm baffled by it.
What does it say that that being wholesome makes you the most hated person in social media? I think that says a lot more about social media than it does about Steph Curry.
Indeed.
But I am not surprised that he would be ranked, or that he would be the most trolled player in the NBA, because let's face it, the battle that used to exist between Kobe stans and LeBron stans has now been replaced by LeBron stans and Steph Curry stans. And I have to look at the survey itself. First of all, it was done, you guys know, it was done by a British casino online site that took 3,000 tweets from October 2020 to January 2021. So what happened in that period of time? Well, LeBron James won a championship. That's going to give the LeBron fans plenty of fodder to go after Steph Curry. Steph Curry was coming off one of his worst shooting years ever. And then when he did get back, the Warriors lost their first 2 games at the end of December by a combined 65 points, and Steph Curry was 4 for 20 from 3-point range. So if I look at the model and how they created this and what it was based on, none of it surprises me, especially in light of the fact that I would say that the battle between Curry and LeBron fans is at the top of the list when it comes to trolls going at each other on social media.
I'm with you, Rick. When you talk about trolling, negativity, craziness on Twitter, that's a cesspool of negativity. So there's not going to be any shocking news when you see, oh, they were mean to Steph Curry. Why were they mean to him? Doesn't matter why they're mean to him. They could be mean to him because of the color of his eyes. They could be mean to him because of the color of his hair, the color of his skin, the way his wife looks, the way his wife's eyes looks, the way the wife's hair looks, the way his kids look. Every single thing, when it goes into social media, is in for public consumption. What you start to realize is, man, what's really scary is when you think about the things that these people are typing and sending, and they actually felt like they made a profound statement that was going to go out into the social media sphere and make a difference. And you read it and it's like, I hate your guts. I hope you go jump off a building. You know why? Because you're as tall as I am and I can't make a shot the way that you make shots and I don't make the type of money you make because you can play basketball. Like, whoa, that's why you hate me, because you're the same height as me and you make millions and I don't. Like, there's such flawed reasoning and such a void of sense, composure, self-worth, identity, so many moments of deception, despair, lack of hope. It all comes out and it gets projected onto, well, people like Steph Curry. It is what it is. So I don't find it to be shocking at all.
Yeah, I've discussed this with Broussard at length. I think jealousy is the key word here, guys. Steph Curry was not expected to win 2 MVP awards, a bunch of championships. This is a guy who, quote unquote, jumped the line. Okay, if you remember when Kobe was near the end of his career, next in line was Lob City with Chris Paul, who's beloved by NBA players. And if it wasn't Lob City, it was KD and Russ in Oklahoma City. And what happened? There were injuries to both of those teams, and Steph Curry and the Warriors just cruised by them. They start winning championships. They win 73 games, and Steph is a unanimous MVP, something LeBron never did, Shaq, Michael Jordan. Nobody's done that, and I think there is resentment and jealousy around the league for Steph Curry. He was beloved by fans. I think he led the league in jersey sales for 4 straight years. And everybody's looking at this below-the-rim, 6'3" kid, and they're like, how the hell is he the #1 guy in the NBA? And I think resentment and jealousy is rampant on social media. LeVar, you know this. Rick, Broussard, you guys have dealt with this. I'm not looking at social media during these segments because I know the crap that's on there. But Steph Curry's dealing with this, and this is just a guy who, as you guys have, is a great ambassador for the NBA. It's pretty pathetic, actually, that this is what happens on social media. But it's 2021, and Rick, here we are.
Yeah, look, it's a reflection not of actually who Steph Curry is or his career. I believe it's his visibility. The more visible you are, then the more you're going to receive on social media. And I don't want to trespass on your other subject, but when you guys were talking about the incident with Cam Newton and the kid, to me, that was a reflection of the social media attitude brought to real life, in that you can just yell things at somebody. You're usually doing it through a keyboard. Well, now somebody's walking by, you can take the same attitude. I can just throw criticism and harsh words at you because, oh, wait a minute, now we're going to have a conversation? Now you want to talk to me? Now it's a human interaction? And then suddenly the kid was backed up. And I just believe that that's where we are in terms of people not having enough in-person discourse. The pandemic has probably only increased that. And that now Steph Curry is subject to that. But if I'm Steph Curry and I look at that, man, it's like, hey, you know who I am. You're arguing about who I am and what I've done. That's all good because it means I've put my name on the list.
You would think Draymond Green would be the guy that would be getting the most of the hate. But, I mean, just really quickly from my perspective, just to wrap, for me, it's a popularity contest. Let's be clear. At the end of the day, when you look at who gets hated on the most, it's the most popular people, which means that they're the most successful people, which means that they're the most desired people, which means that they're the most everything people, and you don't like it.
Yeah.
Get over yourself and get your own. You got to get your own, Jack. That's all it comes down to. You can't have my album.
Great stuff, Rick. Hey, as the great George Costanza said, we live in a society, people. All right, coming up next, does Cam Newton have a bigger chip on his shoulder entering free agency? Greg Jennings joins us next.
No